This is Bronc News, your source for all things Hamilton School District. Broadcast from Hamilton High School. Bringing you the latest district news and Bronc sports. We are Hamilton School District. We know Bronc News.
Welcome back for another edition of Bronc News. I'm Max Nadel.
And I'm Taryn Searle.
We hope everyone had a great winter break.
Topping our news is the issue of school security.
It's seemingly a never-ending battle between high school staff and students.
Bronc News reporter Dane Post explains why propped open and unlocked doors pose a real challenge and security threat to our school.
The Hamilton High School has recently replaced all locks in the school building. Many students and teachers were curious as to the reason for the change, as well as an increased focus on keeping all doors closed during class. For more information, we interviewed Assistant Principal Angela Dondero, asking what the problem was with the old locks.
We found out later it wasn't really used for the amount of doors that we had for all of our school buildings, and so several of them just stopped working after so much time, and people's key cards weren't working anymore, and we just realized we were going to have to go with a completely different setup.
When comparing the old and new locks, you may realize that the recent change has brought a shift from card-based to electronic. But what are the advantages and disadvantages of these systems?
So I've had both. When we've had hard keys, which are sometimes great for this exact reason that sometimes your technology will go out or your key card doesn't work or maybe your fob isn't working anymore. So that having the hard key is really nice for that example. I've also lost my keys before. So you end up having to re-core every single door, which can also be really expensive. So I think both are a good fix. I really like that we have the technology now with some of ours. You can download the app and you can use your phone with it. Most people have their phones with them all the time. A lot of people don't want to download the app because they don't want it on their phones. So I think it's really a personal preference at that point. But I personally really like the updates that we've made just because it's more easy for me because I usually have my phone on me.
With the shift to a technology-based system, does Hamilton High expect any staff to have difficulties with these new doors?
I personally have, and I know lots of people that have, and it's going to be obviously there's going to be a learning curve, and we're going to have to work out a lot of kinks, just like anything else. When you change or update or upgrade a system, you're going to have to learn the new system, and you're going to have to learn to work with the new system.
When questioned on whether she believed the doors would be a positive change, Dondero had this to say.
I like that we've addressed the door issue, so I don't know whether it's going to be more positive and negative. I do like that we've addressed it because this has been an issue in our district for several years now where the key cards haven't been working correctly.
One question still remains. When so many complications may arise with these changes, why make them?
Student safety. It comes down to student and staff safety. If you've got doors propped open, you're more likely to have people that are able to enter your building that shouldn't be in your building. It just helps decrease that opportunity for anybody to come in. And I'm not necessarily talking about some maybe devastating traumatic event. It could just be any old person that shouldn't be in here.
I believe I speak for everyone when I say we hope this new system is an improvement to school safety.
School administrators encourage all staff and students to cooperate in keeping doors locked and fully functioning to ensure Hamilton High School is a safe learning environment.
Switching gears, we would like to send it over to Fern Stewart and Dawson Berglund.
They join us with some important reminders for seniors.
Thanks, Taryn and Max. As I'm sure most seniors have felt, it's been a busy year as we transition towards graduation and beyond.
As seniors, it's our job to ensure we set ourselves up for success after graduation. As we move throughout the year, be sure that you are on top of what needs to be done, especially if you plan to apply for scholarships and college.
We talked to Ms. Holland for advice on the FAFSA, college applications, and scholarships.
So the FAFSA is important. The FAFSA is the free application of federal student aid, And all students need to apply for the FAFSA because it goes to each of the schools that they want to go to. And that's what schools use to figure out what their needs are. And it's important to get the FAFSA in right away because there's some time that it takes to get back. With the FAFSA, a lot of scholarships will require this. In fact, I just sent out a senior classroom post. So if we are not checking your senior classroom, you might want to do that. And that talked about the importance of the FAFSA being one of the mandatory items that you need to upload into that. Particular scholarships and other scholarships will require that information as well. So the FAFSA is one of the important things. Letters of recommendation are really important. We always encourage students to have at least one letter of recommendation from one of your core subject classes. So that would be your social studies, English, science, or math. Those probably make your strongest recommendation letters. And then we also encourage you to have another one by a teacher or a mentor or a coach or somebody in the community. The sooner you start your essays, the better. Sometimes you won't know what the essays are asking for, but most essays are going to tell us a little bit about yourself as a student and just as a human being. So it is good to spend a lot of time developing those essays. You are welcome to use any of your English teachers. So if you have a good relationship with your English teachers, visit with them. You're welcome to talk to Mr. Wolford or myself, your counselors here, and we're happy to proof that information so that you guys are submitting something that's really good. And it's important to submit these things. Scholarships are super, super competitive, and we definitely want Hamilton High School getting the most scholarships this year.
Be sure to stay on top of checking Google Classroom for scholarships and other information.
And don't be afraid to ask teachers and counselors for help. The Senior Corner will also stay updated with information you will need to know.
And one last thing.
Don't get senioritis.
Thanks, Dawson and Fern.
As we work towards the end of the semester, we would like to recap some of the events and accomplishments at the high school.
The holiday food drive at Hamilton High School was a big success.
Thanks to hard work from each class, the high school was able to raise over 8,300 pounds of food.
The juniors outscored everyone with just over 4,398 pounds of food.
We spoke to Miss Nisley about why the food drive is important and how leadership class works to promote school events.
The point of the food drive is to work with our local Kiwanis group. Kiwanis helps families all over the valley, all different ways. And so around the holidays, especially Christmas time, a lot of families' income does not support the rate of inflation that we've had around here for groceries. And so it's just another way to help our community so that they can get food on the table at Christmas time. We've started a leadership class that is built around community service and school spirit. And so these students have blown us away with their efforts in this class. And so by utilizing these students, we've been able to go and collect at the grocery stores during school days. These students have motivated other students to be successful in collecting food. These have been our biggest spokesmen. I think anything that you need student participation in, you need students to buy in. And with the leadership class buying in and our leadership students being some of the most vocal and outgoing students, it has really helped engage students across all grade levels. This was one of our best years. Over 8,000 pounds of food. This probably surpasses the last few years that we've done the food drive. Coming out of COVID years, this was difficult for us to kind of get back into the groove of engaging with our community. So it's really nice to see that Hamilton High School gave back in a big way. Kiwanis is going to come in this weekend and they are going to fill loads and loads of boxes for people in our community. So it was great involvement this year.
The seniors were able to bring in just over 2,917 pounds of food.
The sophomores raised just over 340 pounds, and the freshmen raised just over 698 pounds of food.
Since the juniors brought in the most food, they won the ski trip to Lost Trail, which is set for January 30th.
Over winter break, local organizations made sure to extend a charitable hand to help those in need over the holidays. Bronc News reporter Georgia Espel joins us with more on the Stock Farm Christmas Party.
That's right. Hosting families in need during the holiday season is no cheap task. From entertainment to food, getting together with friends and family during the holiday season can be hard. Over the holiday break, the Stock Farm decided to help out by hosting a Christmas party for people in our community and all around. We interviewed Steve Buck, the general manager, who told us more about the Stock Farm and how they help out in the community.
We do a lot of financial cash donations to a lot of organizations within the community as well. Also, we're part of the Stock Farm Greater Valley Foundation that is kind of one unit with the club. We work together, and that provides numerous scholarships and different sustenance programs for the community.
Buck says while the stock farm is a private country club, they believe it is important to help those in need.
We hope to give away about 400 toys to the community children and just have a great party to give everybody kind of a break at Christmas time and to have some fun.
The Christmas party was a big success. Organizers say over 1,000 people were in attendance. Santa Claus also made an appearance bringing brand new toys for kids. There were also games and a live band that played during the party. The stock farm hopes that this year is the first year of many more to come.
Thanks, Georgia.
Now let's check out what's happening in some HHS classrooms.
Ms. Vickers invited us into Intro to Art class before break to take a look at the math project students are working on. We had a chance to speak with students about what they are creating.
Students also told us how the project works and what it takes to complete it.
Basically what it is, you rub Vaseline on your face, then you put the plastic wrap over your face, and you create a mask. You add designs, you have to add a design on the front, and then you have to create a separate design either out of newspaper or cardboard.
We also had a chance to speak with past students about the project.
I really enjoyed it. It was kind of awkward though, to have everyone see my face and a cast of my face. But I liked it. I did a SpongeBob theme. The eyes were Gary's shell.
Winter sports are in full swing.
Bronc sports reporters Finn Dufresne and Caden Carroll will join us on what we can expect this season.
Welcome back to Bronc Sports. I'm Finn Dufresne.
And I'm Caden Carroll. Today we are bringing you a special edition of Bronc Sports.
Today we have a preview of the winter sports season.
Obviously, winter isn't the best season for outside sports. That's why the sports we will preview are wrestling and basketball.
The seasons have just started, and there is much more to come, as you will see.
The Hamilton Bronx wrestling season is underway, and before it started, we asked Derek Saltzman some questions. First, we asked Derek Saltzman what he thought the team's goals for the upcoming season were.
Well, we have a lot of new wrestlers, so I think that for a few of us, the goal is definitely place at state, at least top 3 for me, and then I think Jesse wants to win state. I obviously want to win state too. But I think a lot of people, they just want to really get a feel for the sport, figure out how it all works. And then some people are just wrestling just to get in shape too, because it'll put you in great shape.
Next, we asked Derek what he thought the wrestling team's biggest strength was.
Strength? I think that a lot of us are not, we want to get better at the sport and we want to understand more of how it works. And we're not just here to just mess around, and we want to grow our skill level in the sport.
The wrestling team got a new coach over the year, and we asked what the biggest changes have come with that adjustment.
I think that a lot has changed, actually, in my opinion, for the better. I think that there's more of a focus on building the program as a whole instead of focusing on just 1 or 2 athletes maybe. And Coach Adams wants to build Hamilton wrestling and get it more to the level that the rest of Hamilton's athletics are at.
We then asked how the wrestling team has been preparing for the upcoming season.
Well, we've been working hard at practice, with technique as well as conditioning. We've done some weightlifting practices, just trying to get bigger, faster, stronger, and just trying to outwork our competition.
The Lady Broncs finished last year losing out at state. They had an overall great season, but state was not the outcome they hoped for. We talked to senior Seattle Pacific University basketball commit Lainey Kearns and senior All-State basketball player Taryn Searle about their goals for this season.
State champs!
Last year, head coach Richard Griffin stepped down, which means the Broncs need to find a new head coach. Luckily, Boone Nelson was ready to take charge. We asked what his favorite parts of being a head coach is so far.
Well, last year I was coaching at the middle school, so getting back into the high school level, it's been a little while. I've been out of it for 4 or 5 years, so getting back to the high school level and coaching at more of a competitive level has been a lot of fun. More importantly, getting to build a relationship with the girls and the coaches and establish a little bit of team camaraderie has been one of the top aspects so far.
We then asked Taryn and Lane what they thought their biggest strength.
Speed. We're really small.
Coach Nelson seemed to have the same idea about the team's biggest strength.
I would say our strength is our athleticism and our speed, right? We don't have a ton of size. We don't have a girl that's over 6 foot at the JV or varsity level. But what we do have is a ton of experience returning, and we've got a ton of athleticism and fast kids. We're going to play fast. We're going to go up tempo, really push the ball down the floor, and look to attack in transition.
A new head coach is a very big change, so we asked Kearns and Cyril what the biggest change is.
I feel like just everyday practice. We haven't had a game yet, so I think the biggest transition for us is that it's just something new after 3 years. So.
We then asked the players how they prepared in the off-season.
Getting up and down the floor, shooting, making sure we just have everything in and being prepared.
The Bronx boys basketball team had an amazing run at state last year. They would finish 4th place at state. We spoke to star player Asher Magnus and head coach Travis Bloom. We first asked what Asher's goals for the season were.
Win games, build chemistry, and just have a good time.
Coach Bloom had his own goals for the team.
You know, our goal for the season is just continue to get better every day and hopefully play our best basketball at the end of the season.
We then asked Coach Bloom what he thought the team's biggest strength was.
I think our athletic ability. I think we can get up and down the floor fast, and hopefully we can get out and run with teams.
Magnus had his own thoughts on what he thought the team's biggest strength was.
Biggest strength, probably just defense and cooperation.
Lastly, we asked Magnus how the team prepared in the offseason.
We've been working hard a lot in the offseason, but it's just in practice we just work really hard.
We hope you enjoyed this edition of Bronx Sports.
Remember, this winter season to get out and support the Bronx.
Go Bronx.
Thanks, Finn and Caden.
That'll do it for the edition of Bronx Sports.
Join us next time for the latest Bronc news.
Until then, go Bronx.